to the latest edition of the Partner Spotlight. Today it's my pleasure to welcome Laura Ellison, the Senior Manager of Product Marketing at Quadient. So, good morning, Laura. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in the company.
Good morning, Mark. Happy to be here. So I lead product marketing on the messaging side of the equation for the accounts payable and accounts receivable products over at Quadient. I've been at Quadient for about 4 years now. I've got a 10-year-long career in product marketing, most of those years having been in tech. And I'm currently based in Edinburgh, UK.
Oh, okay. Nice place to be. Well, that's a crazy place right now, yeah, with all the fringe and
Yeah,
everything going on. Yeah.
very busy.
Indeed, indeed. Okay. So let's focus a little bit about the company then. So how long has Quadient been in business?
So interestingly, Quadient's been in business for 100 years last year. So we actually have a really patchwork history throughout Europe as a kind of a mail solutions provider. Obviously, in recent years, we have embraced the AI and tech revolution, and Quadient made several key acquisitions within the software space, the accounts receivable product actually being one of them. So in 2020, Quadient made its acquisition of what was known as YayPay, which was a startup primarily based in North America, offering accounts receivable solutions to mid-market businesses. So 5 years down the road, YayPay is now Quadient Accounts Receivable. We also have Quadient Accounts Payable, which was acquired the year later. So now we've got this kind of really seamless, joined up solution to basically address all things accounting within our software branch of Quadient.
So it includes obviously with you starting in the mail area, that includes the invoicing as well. Yeah.
It does, yeah, so absolutely. We are actually partnered with the French government as well on several key e-invoicing initiatives for the upcoming year. We made an acquisition this year as well with Serencia, so a PDP or an e-invoicing partner within France, which will help us address Belgium too. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, France is going online with the invoice mandates quite soon as well. So that's a huge project. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Okay, and congratulations on the centenary, by the way.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so where are Quadient located around Europe and beyond?
So we are actually present throughout the globe, which is really, really exciting. We have core markets pretty much within any country you can think of. Our digital business is primarily located within North America and Europe. In terms of our revenue breakdown, in 2024, 58% of our revenue came from North America, 34% came from the main European countries, and 8% from rest of world. We are active in 27 countries, and we have around 4,700 employees in hubs across the globe. So we truly are a global solution provider.
Impressive set of stats there. You've been rehearsing that well.
I have.
That's very good. That's very okay. So global organization. How would you define your USP?
So interestingly, we are really in the business of experience. Something that we have seen plenty of other vendors on the finance side do is kind of develop their tech to almost characterize their AI solutions, or they have been going down the route of, access to data above all, data is king or cash is king. Where we have come from within our software world is customer experience management, customer communications management. So what you see with Quadient that no other vendor can really offer is a marriage of customer experience and accounts receivable. We often hear that accounts receivable is just kind of the other side of the coin from the customer success manager's role. You're both kind of engaged with talking to customers. You're both trying to get something out of your customers. You're trying to make your customers stay. It's much cheaper to retain a customer than it is to find a new one and get them onboarded. So the nicer you are to them throughout kind of the communication process, throughout the cash collection journey, the more pleasant of an experience they have with you, the more they want to continue to do business with you. So where we're actually pushing our vision and our development is to make our solutions a lot more user-friendly, just much nicer to use, a happy place to be for employees doing day-to-day accounts receivable work, and a happy place for customers to go and pay their invoices. We are kind of experience-driven above all, really, which is kind of our unique place in the market.
So high-quality tech aside, what's the kind of human intervention then with this customer experience too? How does I guess that's very much part of it, I would anticipate.
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually like to see our clients using tech to kind of boost those human experiences. There's obviously many ways in which you can kind of segment your customers that you're doing outreach to by set of conditions. You know, if you have a customer who's habitually really late at paying you, you can obviously drop them into a communications workflow which targets them more frequently and so on. We also have customers who tend to set up sort of more softer comms workflows. For example, we have a customer over in the US who sends Happy Thanksgiving emails as part of their regular scheduled collections workflows. What we really like to do as well is to listen to our customers. So even for us on the development side and on the product marketing side, the more time we spend getting to know our customers and listening to them through kind of user groups, surveys, customer advisory boards, feedback, all of this kind of thing. Every time we release a massive new module, we run an early adopter program. So we're constantly engaging with customers. In fact, last quarter, 50% of our product release was actually customer requested items. The other 50%, you know, standard bug fixes and improvements and things like that. But to have 50% of our release being customer requests is an absolutely amazing kind of testament to how much we listen and want to listen, and kind of take that as a value for us going forwards.
I think so, and it's a sign of confidence as well. If you know, if your customers can come to you and say, "Well, we think we want to do this," right? You know, and then with all your experience, you can kind of guide them if that is the right direction or not. Yeah, because
Yeah.
often sometimes people think this is where we should go, and your experience over many customers will say, maybe slightly over here, 25 degrees to the left or something.
Yeah, exactly. We do have that confidence in our customers that they know what they need. It's kind of like you know, the famous it might be apocryphal, but the story from Henry Ford, who was saying, you know, if you asked your customers what they wanted you to build, they would have said a faster horse, and obviously he took a car to market. So there is a little bit of an element of, we like to listen to our customers, but we really like to kind of almost translate that internally to, well, how can we go one step further? How can we use AI? How can we use the innovative minds that we have in house? You know, we have a really broad reaching team of amazing data scientists, and they're constantly looking for ways to actually bring new innovation. We actually release 10 times per year. We tend to avoid month end. Obviously, that's our customers' busiest times. So we do tend to kind of work with our customers to try and deliver them something new and surprising, in addition to popular requests.
And absolutely. And the customer relationship is, well, it's, as you said, it's easier to keep companies and grow from existing clients than keep trying to get new ones. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Exactly.
and I think and doubly important now, because there's a lot of competition in this space, and there's still that basic phrase that we hold dear in Callisto as well, is that people buy people, right? At the end
Yeah.
of the day, that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? How not really what you sell, because we know it's a great product, but it's how you feel, right? It's all about
Yeah.
that. It's a very emotional relationship, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We had one customer actually. I remember having a chat to her, and she was talking about how she had these two employees who were maybe performing slightly under where she wanted them to be when they were using their old software solution for accounts receivable. The minute they transitioned to Quadient AR, they found the software so much more enjoyable to use that they actually became her star performers. She was obviously able to track their performance within the solution itself, but because the solution was almost such a user-friendly place to be, we tend to kind of gamify the experience. For example, when a customer pays you, there's a little animated graphic of money sort of waterfalling across the screen, which is quite fun. There are sort of smaller details like that that really show kind of the care we've invested into user experience, and I think that reflects on, you know, the users themselves, that they actually enjoy being a part of this software platform day to day.
Very much so, and it's kind of similar to what we say, that we think credit is a great profession to be in, right? And you've said quite a few times about being in a happy place. It's an enjoyable experience, you know, and that is so valuable, you know, because I think so many people, or sort of so many organizations, will say it's a process, you know, it's a transactional thing, and it's not, you know, it's a living, breathing profession, you know,
Yeah.
and let's face it, on the AR side, we're looking after every company's single biggest asset, right?
Yeah.
Trade receivables. Money don't come in, you know, everything else is a bit of a problem after that. So no, I really like this emphasis on the enjoyment angle, and that's quite refreshing. Um, I it's kind of the first time I've actually heard it really emphasized, right front and center of what you're doing. And this is really, really, really interesting. And we'll certainly talk about it more after the interview. So
Mhm.
good stuff, good stuff. All right. So if there was an area within the credit O2C side that is like your real core, what would you say it was?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I would really say that it's the workflow capability. Obviously, we are super configurable. I know collection workflows are nothing new to your client base. They've probably used a million different software tools that allow you to build workflows and things like that. But the way that you can configure almost every ounce of the platform is really quite unique. You can, as a super user or a super admin, you can almost kind of devolve the responsibility of creating and customizing collection strategies to your team members. So as the manager, you don't kind of have to be in charge of setting one strategy and forgetting it. You can actually empower your team members who know their clients best, to actually like learn from their specific segment what strategies work and to go ahead and play around with the workflows and actually go ahead and implement them. So it's more about kind of devolving collections success in order to kind of boost individuals' kind of career performance. So some ways in which we obviously allow them to do that. Workflows I mentioned are sort of hyper configurable. Even things like the business settings, you can switch on and off modules at the touch of a button. You can give different users different access to different parts of the platform. If you've got someone in your team who's super good at reporting, you may want to give them a bit more responsibility there. So you can switch that on for them and kind of let the others do what they do best. So really allowing that access to the business settings as well as the frequency that we update means that if there's ever a sudden change to your business circumstances, if you're getting the call that budgets are being really squeezed, you're going to have to do more with less. We all know the language. You don't have to then come straight to Quadient to say, oh, can you help us change this setting or that setting? There's quite a lot within the platform, excuse me, that you can actually go ahead and flex yourselves, according to business need.
There's a lot of advantages in that. One, like I said, the users can set up a lot of the settings themselves,
Yeah,
so they don't have to have a ticketing system and wait ages for a response
right.
like that, which is a big deal.
Mhm.
And the other aspect, I think, also we were saying just now about the enjoyment and the involvement in the job, and those two things actually go together. If you feel like you're actually part of something, that also helps to boost the enjoyment and it's kind of in Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
You're actually contributing to it, and yeah, and I think to be able to be more or less autonomous, I guess up to a certain point, and flexible to demands. That's yeah, we were talking about sort of specializations and so on, and that's a very interesting concept. So carrying on from that, then, so we talked about sort of the core expertise and so on within the O2C side. From an ERP perspective, is there any particular ERP you're more familiar with, or is it across the board?
Yeah, so I would say NetSuite is one of our absolute core familiarities. We have a wide customer base on NetSuite, also within the Sage ecosystem. So we have developed kind of pre-built connectors to a lot of the different Sage ERPs as well. Microsoft and SAP as well at kind of the higher end of the market. We've got happy customers using integrations to Microsoft Business Central, for example, or Sage S4HANA. Something that we are really, really good at as well is connecting to maybe slightly niche or industry specific or even old or outdated ERPs. I mentioned our super talented team of data scientists. We have a super talented team of developers as well, and they can actually work with our clients, no matter what their in-house tech stack looks like, to custom build and design an integration that serves them. So whether you're working kind of multi-country, whether you've got some random hodgepodge of about 5 different ERPs all bolted together with a system of rusty nails, they can kind of pick into that and work out which data types need to be extracted and design an integration. And all of that's done in-house at Quadient. So it's almost that we kind of package a connector type build and give it straight to your IT team. So the specialization really is almost that we're so good at working with whatever specialization you have. That's the benefit really. We're happy to kind of work with you on custom designs, custom builds, and that obviously frees up your IT team. They don't need to be as close to the process. They can kind of put their trust and faith in us to deliver it.
Big point. No, not so much internal IT resource needed, right?
Exactly.
And I think it's safe to say on that subject as well, you were talking about lots of, how do you put it, hodgepodge with a bag of nails. I like that.
Yeah.
I'll use that again, but there can be a lot of legacy systems through
Oh
mergers
yeah.
acquisitions and whatever else. And so basically you're kind of sitting in the cloud above that, right? And everything is mapped up into this central standardized kind of format. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are 100% cloud based, but that also means that whether they're working with an on premise ERP system and they actually have ambitions to move to a cloud based ERP environment within the next 2, 3, 5 years, we can connect to their system where they are now. And we can continue to connect to them when they are in their ideal state. So we're kind of your software partner for life. It's not that we'll, force you to stay with a particular ERP just because it's the one that we connect to. We're really flexible, so we kind of work with your transformation journey.
It's a huge. I keep saying it, but all these things are big points actually, because from our experience, we know there's a lot of organizations, too many, really, that are saying, "Oh, we're going through the S4 HANA transition.
Oh yeah.
We'll look at the software in 2028 when we finish, 3 or 4 years down the road," and we're saying no. With the world today in 2025, we can do like we've just been discussing. You can do your S4 HANA transition and put Quadient on the top,
Yeah.
because the two things don't have to be separate. They can run in parallel and fairly painlessly, I think, is as you just said, once you got it mapped up and set up, they can play around with the S4 HANA transition as much as they like, right? And
Yeah.
the credit O2C side can carry on regardless. And I think that's something we campaign about, I say all the time. They're not exclusive things. Right? So
Yeah, we will say as well that most of our implementation projects are actually live in less than a quarter. So if they are, we all know how kind of big and hefty these ERP transformation projects can get. If you've got a new ERP implementation that's scheduled to take 12 or 24 months, less than a business quarter of that, you can set that aside, get your AR up and running so that you still have that business continuity, even while your kind of business back end is going through this massive roadmap of change. You can kind of get your AR set up and almost forget about it and get back to your new normal, really. So
that's interesting as well. You said so, really, from inquiry to kickoff, obviously depending on complexity, 12
yeah.
weeks you can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously depends on complexity, size of business, and so on. But yeah, implementation projects are standard less than a business quarter. So, yeah.
Nice one. Okay, all right. Is there any kind of particular clients that you tend to have more of one industry sector than another, or is it very broad based?
We can work pretty much with any industry sector. Like I mentioned, we've got history working with some very specialized industry ERPs. We do tend to do well in kind of technology industries, or on the other side, manufacturing. So kind of industries who have quite a large volume base of invoices. I will say as well that we recently started to explore the construction market and industries that use project-based accounting structures for their credit. Basically, this led us to interview several prospects, clients, partners, implementers within the field of construction. And we found out that one of the biggest challenges that they had was actually forecasting receivables when, say, like 50% of your invoices are due now and then 50% of them are due later. You obviously don't want to include the ones due later in your current cash forecast, because then it looks like you are owed a ton of money that isn't actually due yet. So that retained amount is actually something that many other software vendors we were seeing in the accounts receivable space couldn't track. Some ERPs could do it, but it was limited. The people we spoke to wanted it within their AR environment. So we developed a module, AR Retainage, which is free to enable actually for people who need it within our AR platform. And you can actually go ahead and you can do reporting, and you can actually segment out those retained invoices versus current due ones. There's lots of other cool bits of functionality in that one as well. But that was that was kind of designed, iterated, built, and delivered in less than 2 business quarters. So we really kind of started having the conversations, thought, what can we do about that? Petitioned our senior leadership for the investment, and it was a done deal. It's a really exciting way of working. And obviously it just hints again at how much we like to be close to our customers and deliver things that actually benefit them.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't really discussed before either, at that kind of detailed level, like you say, in construction and industries like that, where you got a series of stage payments, which are
Yeah.
also conditional on certain things happening. Like if you're building a road or something or a highway,
Yes.
the stage payments will only kind of become payable when that mile has been tarmacked or whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
That
Yep.
you got 3 or 4 stories of a building or whatever, whatever, right? So yes, there's a big variable in that, like you said. So it's you can easily kind of say this invoice is due in 3 months' time, but it may not necessarily be true in 3 months' time if there's a delay in the project and so on, right? So
Yeah.
interesting variation. No, I like that very much. So from the in the world at the moment, which we know is all very volatile and
Oh yeah.
uncertain, are there any particular trends that are driving people to ring you up and say, we need to talk?
Yeah, we actually have a few people, especially with the advent of generative AI, which I know is kind of old news now. It's a lot more kind of about agentic AI. But when that all started to happen, you had people's CFOs ringing them up saying, "What's your department doing with AI?" And they would then come to us and say, as their technology provider, what's your AI roadmap look like? So we have seen kind of the request for information about our AI roadmap kind of increase over the past year or so. We actually have dedicated, several strands of our development work to AI first plans. So we've got a lot of interesting things coming up, such as AI prioritization of collector to-do lists, AI voice transcription of calls. So if you're on the phone to somebody, it will automatically transcribe the calls that you are carrying out. It will take actions from that, and it will set to-do items again from that summary. So really cool features like that kind of are all coming to Quadient AR within the next few months. So again, we've kind of really chosen to invest in our AI. We were actually first to market as well to implement generative AI into our solution. Back when it kind of massively hit the headlines, we were the first AR software provider to include it in our email and template generation. So you could kind of add a couple of prompts, and the AI would kind of generate your collections email. It would pull in all those smart tags like dear first name, your invoice number, this is due, and it would pull in all of those, and you could go ahead and send it.
And you've answered my next question as well. So, but I think with the AI, I mean, a lot of it, the real kind of AI piece, I think, actually is in this agentic side, is the around the calling and so on. And are you looking at that as well? Actually, having robots calling customers, is that part of the roadmap?
Yeah, so I've seen demos of that from some other vendors. Where our position is, because we are so fully on the customer experience side, we almost feel it's a little bit dystopian, because people can tell that it's a robot calling you. You can always tell. And where we tend to go is that we believe that AI can only take you so far. Like at the end of the day, you still need human creativity. If there's one thing AI cannot do, it's creativity. And we know that people working in accounts receivable, they have to be creative. They have to be able to build relationships. It's what they're good at. They're often called, I've heard it said, like the dark side of the sales team. You have to have the same skills. You have to be persuasive, you have to be passionate, you have to be a little bit people pleasy, just to try and get things done. And those sorts of nuance are things that AI, it simply cannot compare in today's state. So I have seen demos of other vendors where you have the robot doing the phone calls. You can definitely tell it's AI. What we want to do is kind of keep AI sort of more on the tech assistance side, to automate those kind of lower value tasks, so that actually when you do need to get to the point to make a phone call, which isn't in every case, like you may need to only call your VIP customers to softly approach them. You may need to call someone, it's a really sensitive scenario. Emails can handle the rest. The phone calls are the ones, your opportunity to actually talk to your billing contacts and make those relationships, inquire how their pets are, ask if they've got any holiday plans. That's the real area where humans still have total value. So we're going down the agentic AI where it benefits the employees. We kind of want to keep the humans talking to the humans. So that's where where we're going.
It's an interesting evolution that's going to come. And you, what you just said then about the relationship side is pretty well the core of everything that we do. Our training qualifications, that's what it's
Yeah.
all about. Yeah. So I can see the robot contact, if you like. It can come where you got a high volume of low value accounts, probably more in the B2C side. I think, where if you're in I don't know, if you're calling from a council or something, you got your hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
rent accounts you're chasing, stuff like that, right? I can see it kind of having value there. It's still, but you still need the relationship side and the being able to understand the data and everything else. So I fully agree with you on that. So okay. AI we talk, and of course AI is that's gonna be the dominating subject for the next
Yeah.
for the rest of this decade at least, isn't it? So, and even now, I think it's already evolving. I think we can already see the generative AI side. It's constantly shifting, isn't it? So, which is a good thing in some ways and frustrating in other ways. Because if you ask the same question 2 days running, you'll get a completely different answer on the second day than the first day, right? But
Yeah.
it's generative AI, it's constantly generating. So I think yeah, there's a lot to come, and it's been a rapid 2, 3 years of this
Hmm.
Gen AI stuff. So I think by the end of this decade, it's going to look different again, isn't it? So and more
Yeah.
power to you guys that you're ahead of the curve and staying with it and seeing what's coming next. So we're more or less at the end. Thank you very much for a really most enjoyable interview this morning. Last thing, most importantly, how do people get hold of you?
You can come to our website, quadient.com, simple as that. You can also contact me directly if you want to talk anything AI. I am so more than happy to have a chat to anybody. I really love to talk. I work from home, so I'm absolutely starved of company. So I really welcome, people reaching out. You can contact me, l.elliston@quadient.com, if you fancy a chat. All things AI, all things accounts receivable, totally happy to chat to you. Yeah, absolutely.
I know you said, well, again, please talk to me, somebody. No, but I'm with you on that one. I'm also work from home most of the time as well. So I'm with you on that. Laura, brilliant. Thank you so much indeed. It's been a real pleasure today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was great to talk to you.